built on relationships, focused on people, and rooted in the community. Welcome to the Build Blue podcast. Tune in for weekly episodes featuring guests who are building a better tomorrow. You'll hear inspiring stories from industry leaders, business owners, community partners, and our team members. The Build Blue podcast, where construction comes to life. An Apex Construction Group production. Welcome to the Build Blue podcast, an Apex production. My name is Jess Blaze, Business and Community Relations Manager here at Apex, and I'm joined by Tyler Kuch, the General Manager of the Mankato MoonDogs. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Absolutely. Let's start by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Yeah, well, I was born in Mankato, grew up here, went to Mankato West High School. Ended up graduating from MSU Mankato. So I've been around Mankato my whole life, majored in sport management at MSU. Did some fun little internships kind of all over the country before ending up back in Mankato, and then and came to the MoonDogs and been there this was my 6th year now.
Your 6th year. Okay, We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we get into the episode, but we do start all of our episodes with our Apex icebreaker. So if you could open and run any business, what would it be?
So I was thinking about this one a little bit, and I think if I had a business that people would pay me for my opinion on just random things, I would love to do that. Not even anything super important, but just be like, what's a good TV show I could watch with my family, or that kind of thing, or what's a good place to go eat if I'm craving this.
You could call it like Ask Tyler.
Yeah, exactly. If I give people my opinions anyway, so if I could get paid, that'd be even better.
I want to ask. I'm trying to think of something that I could ask you for your opinion on. What is a good show to watch right now?
The latest one I was watching was on Apple TV, Severance.
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, we blew through it in about a week or so.
Okay, so. I actually have heard that's really good. Physical on Apple TV, excellent.
Physical, okay.
It's like a throwback 80s. It's so good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your career with the Mankato MoonDogs. You joined the team in 2017, and when I say team, I mean the staff.
Yes.
The team of employees, not the actual MoonDogs team. So let's talk about kind of how that has evolved since you joined the Mankato MoonDogs.
Sure. Well, actually, it really started back in 2010 when I was still in college looking for a part-time job. I went in and stopped in to talk with Kyle Mrozik, the former general manager, seeing if they had any openings for me, and they were actually just starting to broadcast these games online, and so they had cameras that needed to be run by people, and it was a brand new thing around that point. So I started as a part-time camera operator for a few seasons. Went off, like I was saying, I had internships with other teams, different organizations, so I was away for a couple years, but ended up coming back doing camera for a few more years.
Okay.
And then at a certain point, I was looking for a full-time job, and I was bugging the MoonDogs, like, hey, do you guys have anything, any sort of jobs? And they said, no, nothing yet, but just check back, I don't know, 6 months or so, another year. And then finally in the winter of 2017, they finally said, hey, we have a sales position open if you want to come interview for that. And I knew those guys because I'd been around the team for a while now at that point. Went in, interviewed with Greg Weiss, who ended up hiring me for that position, and started off as a salesman for group sales, like the tickets, the different hospitality areas that we have at the ballpark. And then just kind of grew my positions from there. Ticket sales for a few years. 2020 got to be the assistant general manager, and then when that general manager, Justin White, moved to Michigan, I was the only one left. So they kind of had to promote. No, they didn't. But they ended up promoting me to general manager for the season, the 2021 season.
Okay.
So this was year 2 of that, and it's been amazing. I've loved every minute of it.
That's great. I didn't realize that you were with the team part-time as early as 2010. Yeah. That's super cool, running the camera. So you really have done it all.
Yeah.
When it comes to the...
It's fun getting to see all the different aspects of the ballpark and what all there is to do. So you get to know a little bit of everything that way.
Absolutely. I actually did a part-time stint in the concessions area in 2010 and 2011. with the MoonDogs. So go way back. If someone's not familiar with the Northwoods League, which is the league that the MoonDogs are a part of, can you give us a little bit more of the background of the league?
Yeah, so it's a summer collegiate league where players come from all over the country, and they're college players. They're with college teams, and basically they're trying to get noticed by scouts, maybe get some more reps so that they can perform better on their own college teams. But basically, yeah, they want to get noticed. They want to play a little more and just advance themselves that way. And we've had a decent amount of players go on to either get drafted or sign contracts with like an independent pro league. And then even some players have made it up to the major leagues, which is incredible. We have Brandon Crawford is probably our most successful alum. He is with the San Francisco Giants right now. He won a couple World Series with them a while back, multiple awards, and it helps us recruit players like nowadays, because we can point to guys like him and say, hey, look, this is what he did in the league. You might as well come to Mankato and see what you can do here and hopefully have a career like he did.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super cool. The 2022 season has officially wrapped, correct?
The playoffs are still going on, but we did not make the playoffs. So for us, the season is over.
So let's walk through what the MoonDogs season is like from your perspective, kind of from that recruiting aspect, like when the players start arriving and then through the actual playing season.
Yeah, so the recruitment process is pretty much a year-long thing. Our coaching staff takes care of most of that, which is kind of nice. They have relationships with college coaches all over the country.
Sure.
Start reaching out probably even in the fall and just say, hey, can you send a couple guys to our team in the summer? And then I'm the one who gets to send the contracts to the players and have them sign it, get all official, so that when they start showing up, usually, well, our season starts typically on Memorial Day, and the players don't get here until that weekend, like the weekend before Memorial Day. So they'll get maybe a day or two to practice, get to know each other, and then they're off to the races playing their what is it, like 72 games in 76 days or something like that. They're busy. Once the season actually starts, it's pretty much go time. They only have a couple days off throughout the season. As staff, we are only really a part of the home games, which seems like you get plenty of time off, but my wife would tell you that, it seems like you're gone all
Summers
all
are
summer.
busy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 36 home games for us during the summer over the span of 2.5 months or so. And sometimes you'll have weeks where it's like 6 or 7 games that week, and then other times it's like maybe 1 or 2, but it's pretty much just go for the whole summer. And then once the season wraps up and the players all clear out pretty much the day after the season's done, they get their stuff out of their locker. Some of them will fly home, others will drive. We'll clean up the ballpark, and then it seems like it's a ghost town over there. We'll have a couple non-baseball events in the fall. Some companies will do like their fall picnic or something like that. We'll have a company who does a movie night at the ballpark. But generally, once the baseball season's done, that's our quietest part of the year. So September, October, it's pretty quiet.
You get to breathe
a little bit anyway.
Put your feet up maybe just a little bit. And you guys have brought some entertainment to the park this year, and I know there's is it dueling pianos?
Yeah,
coming up later
it's
this
a
month?
dueling piano group. They're called the Dueling Duo. They're coming out to the ballpark. It's next Saturday.
27th? Next
Saturday. And they play pretty much any type of genre of music, any era. I don't know how they do it. They take requests and they can play the song. They know the words, and it's a great time. They were here in 2019 as well, and it was awesome. And that was before everything shut down in the world. But now we seem to be getting back to a point where we can have events like this again. So we're excited to have them. We're excited to have them at the ballpark again.
That's awesome. I love that. How has the league and the MoonDogs organization specifically changed over the course of the time that you've been with the team? And you can even go back as far as 2010 and kind of speak to that.
Well, the league itself has grown quite a bit. We're up to 22 teams in the league, I believe, and I think they're even looking at maybe adding a couple more.
Wow.
Way back when, it was like 8 8 teams, 10 teams, 12. It's just grown steadily and consistently over the years. And the MoonDogs organization has, we underwent new ownership in 2018. So it was after my first year with the team. And so we brought on some new owners, Chad Supernott and Kyle Smith, who are local in town here. And then the ownership of the lacrosse loggers, also in the Northwoods League, signed on to be a part of our team as well. And once that happened, those guys really got the ball rolling and had the renovation done at the ballpark. So it's a brand new turf field, the concession stands, bathrooms, pretty much everything at the park is completely brand new. And that was all due to those guys. They put in a big 20-foot by 50-foot video board at the ballpark. So that's a huge attraction out there. And it's been incredible to see how much the team has grown, and as far as like attendance, revenue, everything's just been going up steadily from year to year, other than 2020 when nothing was going up.
That year doesn't count.
Everything else, every other year though, it's just been increases, and that's due to those guys 100%.
That's so cool. Let's talk about the renovations. The ballpark became ISG Field. That was 2018.
The name change was actually last year, 2021.
Oh, okay. The renovations.
Thank you. Were 18. Yep.
So those renovations and improvements, I mean, it's hard to even think back to when it was the Franklin Rogers Park. It's hard to even remember what it was like, even though it was just a few years ago. So let's talk about how those changes and renovations have enhanced the player and the fan experience.
Well, in the player experience, I think it has helped in our recruiting, because I've even heard conversations after games, like we'll be playing a team from, let's say, Eau Claire or something, and I'll see their players talking to our guys, and they'll say, man, this field is really nice. I want to come play here next year. And then sometimes we do get players from those other teams to come play. And so I think that's helped us build our team and the level of ability we have. It's because the players want to be here, and then they want to come back the next year too. So that's helped. I think that's helped our win-loss record a little bit. And then I think the improvements have helped our attendance. Like I was saying, that's gone up pretty much every year. The fans come out and they're like, man, this place looks great.
Yeah.
Some people hadn't been there in a few years, and when it was Franklin Rogers, and the field wasn't bad, but it was in need of an upgrade. I played on that field in high school, and it was so much fun, but I played third base, and sometimes you'd get a ground ball that would hit a spot in the dirt or the grass and hit you in the chest or in the face, and I wish I had that turf to play on in high school. But yeah, we get comments all the time, people saying this place looks great, and then they come back for more games, and it just kind of is a grassroots type thing where they tell their friends, and other families are coming out, and pretty soon after that, there's a bunch more people at the park.
And it's such a great atmosphere for kids, and the players are great with kids, and specifically the hill, like the general admission hill. I know it has a name, and you'll have to fill in for me because I can't think of it, but it's such a great atmosphere for families, and you guys have done a lot to create that.
Yeah, that's always been the goal, is trying to figure out a way for we want it to be family friendly. We don't want to make things too expensive.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a pro game, you're going to drop a bunch on parking, food, the tickets themselves. We try to keep everything pretty reasonable. Obviously the hospitality areas get a little more expensive than just a general admission ticket, but we've always, that's been our goal, to have a place for families to go in town that they can do and not break the bank. And that general admission, the quick trip berm over there.
That's the berm. Thank you.
That's been a godsend
It's
for
awesome.
families with young kids.
Yeah.
We brought my daughter out there, and she just ran around pretty much the whole game, and you couldn't get her to sit still in a seat.
Nope.
And you just bring a picnic blanket, park it down there, and let her go, and she's happy.
That's what my kids do too. Yeah, absolutely. One of our favorite projects that we've done, and we've done a lot, is the outfield suites, the converted shipping containers. It's such a great concept. What feedback do you get? We like to call it the best seats in the house, and I'm sure everyone says that about their spot. But the
vantage point from the outfield that you get from the suites is just really cool.
Yeah, that was brand new last season. And that was, again, the year we were coming out of the 2020 season. And we weren't sure what the reception was going to be. We didn't know if people were going to, first of all, be ready to book outings like that for groups.
Yep.
And we didn't know if people were going to want to sit way out in right field. I was kind of worried. I'm like, is that going to be too far away from the action? And then the first game we had the suites, I was walking around and I was standing out there, and it's almost like you're right out on the field because it hangs over the right field fence. And I found myself just staring, watching the game for a couple innings before I realized, like, I got to keep moving. I'm working. I'm not just a fan watching the game. But we've gotten amazing feedback from those suites. The amount of groups that have been booking has steadily increased. People have come to games and maybe not been in the suites. They've been in other areas of the ballpark, and they see them out there, and they ask questions like, "What's out there? What do you get to do?"
Yeah.
And we get to say it's catered food. It's reserved just for that group. You're in your own little space, and it's an amazing view. And then next thing you know, we're getting calls left and right. And by the last few weeks of the season, you couldn't book another suite. It seemed like they were all completely full. And so I think that's only going to continue to grow. And I'm very thankful that we have those out in the outfield now. It's been huge.
They're super cool. I hosted a group in our suite this summer, and a couple of them they had actually played in the Northwoods League years ago, and they were just gushing over the field and the experience and the suite and the view, and they were like, no other town in the Northwoods League has a field like this. And I was so proud of Mankato and so proud of the MoonDogs. And yeah, it was pretty cool to hear them say that. So let's talk about the host family program and these young men who come to Mankato to play baseball for the summer. It's almost like a movie. Right?
Yeah. We probably couldn't have a team without the host families. They open up their homes to these guys that they've never met before. For the most part. And basically what they have to have is they need to have a bed for them to be able to sleep on when they're not on the road in other cities, and then just have food in the fridge and in the pantry for them, just be able to give them something to eat when they're, again, not on the road. They don't always see these guys all the time because they do have such a busy schedule, but they see them enough where a lot of times these players kind of become another family member. Some kids will cry at the end of the summer when the players have to go back to school.
Oh, yes.
But our host families have become kind of a little community of their own, which is great. I think we have the best group in the whole league. They recruit from within, it almost seems like, where it's like, okay, we need another couple families, and one of our current host families will say, oh, I have some friends who might want to do it. And it's just kind of a tight-knit little group, and they just pretty much take care of it by themselves. My family growing up was actually a host family when I was a kid. Yeah, we did it for 5 years, and I was an only child, and I think it was just a way for my parents to say, hey, we need someone else for him to interact with during the summer instead of just being out here by himself. But so I got to see firsthand how cool that is, and I had a big brother for the summer that I'd go and be like, that's my guy right there. And the kids, this summer and the other summers that I've been a part of the team, you see those same kids doing the same thing. They get shirts with the player's name on them, and it's just the most amazing thing. And having done it when I was a kid, it's cool to see the younger kids get to experience that now too. Super
special. And the guys that come to play on the team, what about the relationships that they develop with each other?
Yeah, it can vary from year to year, but the last 2 years, I'll say, they have really become a group of brothers in the clubhouse. And I think I don't know which influences the other. These last 2 years, they've been good teams that win a decent amount, and I don't know if they're winning because they're such good buddies, or if they're such good buddies because they're winning, and winning makes people happy. But I think maybe it could be a little bit of both. So if we can keep that same culture in the clubhouse, I think it's beneficial on both ends.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about these guys that are in college and they're having this experience in our community, and that will go on to be a lifelong memory for them. And our community will get to be a little part of their story, which is
they leave, they go back, they go back to school. Some of them are from out in California, New York, Florida, Texas. Some of them are more local, but they stay friends. They stay in contact. I've seen some players be involved in each other's weddings. Lifelong friends. So cool. You spend that much time with some of these guys, you're gonna develop some lasting relationships.
Absolutely. So what does the future hold for the Mankato MoonDogs as we're officially in the off season? Obviously, you and your people need a break. Yeah. You're like, I don't want to talk about the future. But any big goals, anything new coming that you can share with us?
So yeah, this off season, this fall is when we'll start doing that planning for what's going to be next for next year. I know that our owners, their wheels are always turning. They're going to have something that they'll cook up, whether it's a new hospitality space or maybe other events that we can put on. We're always trying to look at ways we can maximize the field, the space out there, because it is such an awesome space. We don't want to limit it to just 36 games in the summer. If we can have concerts or other events out there, we want to do that. So, and you do have some of the area baseball teams that utilize it too, right? So Mankato West and Loyola play their high school games there, and then Bethany Lutheran College they do their games out there too. That's not through us necessarily, but they also get to share the space too. So it's nice that the field gets used. Definitely. A place like that needs to be used as much as it can. Yeah, it's gorgeous. But yeah, we get our 2023 schedule. Typically, those schedules come out around Thanksgiving or maybe a little after, depending on the year. And at that point, we can start contacting our groups and say, hey, do you want here's what the calendar looks like. Do you want to book a suite out in the doghouse out there in the Apex Construction Suite? Yeah. And then they'll start saying and then it'll book, and then spring will come, and hopefully all those spots will be filled, and we'll have to tell people, well, I guess you got to do next year. It's a good problem to have when everything's full, but obviously we want as many groups to come out as they can. But the way the last 2 seasons have gone, I'm assuming it's going to be even better next year. And the way it's been going, I have no reason to think that it's not going to just keep improving. Well, if you guys scheme up anything that needs to be built, you know where to find us. 100%. Tyler Kuch, General Manager of the Mankato MoonDogs. Is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap up? Come out to the Dueling Duo concert. It's gonna be awesome. Next Saturday already. Holy cow! Time flies. So by the time this airs, it will actually be just a couple days away. So this will air next Thursday. If you're listening, it is next Thursday. We're talking to you from the future. No. So yeah, how can people find out more about grabbing tickets for that? They can either give us a call, 507-625-7047. Otherwise, just stop by our office, 1221 Caledonia Street. It's about a block away from the ballpark. And we'll hope to see you there. My kids are going to kill me. I didn't ask you about Mutnick. We didn't talk about Mutnick at all. Oh my gosh. Kids either love him or hate him. I know. We had Greg Weiss from MSU, former GM of the Mankato MoonDogs, on, and we talked about Stomper, and he said the exact same thing. He's like, kids either love him or they hate him. Sometimes they warm up throughout the season. Sometimes it's from a distance. They'll say, oh, there's a puppy, and then you get up there and it's like, whoa, he's kind of big. Maybe I want to keep my distance. Maybe a puppy in a baseball hat is not for me. Yeah. But Mutnick has become a local celebrity. He has. Everyone is looking for him at the game. He's out at community events. So tell Mutnick we say, hey, keep it up. Yep. You're doing a great job. Absolutely. He'll be there. He'll be at all the games. Awesome. Tyler Kuch, General Manager of the Mankato MoonDogs. Get those tickets for the Dueling Duo coming up August 27th. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. Absolutely. Thank you so much.